Good evening and welcome to another edition, I should say as we were just talking, the 46th edition of Burlington and Beyond. Very pleased to have you here. We've had all kinds of guests, and tonight we have two special guests from the town of Burlington who are going to tell us a lot about one of the best affairs that Burlington undertakes. This is under the auspices of the Recreation Department. But before we get into that, let me just introduce my co-host here, Adam Sinesi on my left, and then our guests, Kelly Lehman from the, let's see, once again, Program Coordinator for the Recreation Department, and Brendan Egan, who is the Director. And the two of them are directly involved with everything that goes on in the Recreation Department, or just about everything, one way or another. The biggest single event of the year in terms of reaching out to Burlington, I think, is probably Celebrate Burlington, which is going to be on August 6th from 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning until about 4 in the afternoon. And we're going to find out about it. And toward the end of the show, I'd like to tell you about a couple of people that we hope will be on in the future. We expect will be on in the future. But for the moment, we want to say hello to Kelly first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and what you do, just a little bit.
So I'm the program coordinator at the Recreation Department. So we oversee all of the programming aspects, the special events that happen on the Common, or the trips, or other programming that we offer for babies through seniors at the department, and that's what I do.
That keeps you busy.
It does keep me busy, yeah.
Pretty busy.
Pretty busy.
Yeah. I was amazed to hear that you live at a distance from here and you travel. Does that mean that Burlington is special to you?
The community itself is very special in that, it's very supportive of the Recreation Department. I came from a small New Hampshire town before where, recreation wasn't necessarily valued as high. Coming from New Hampshire, the tax rate is a little different. So, working for your municipality, it became, a year-to-year thing whether, the department was going to be funded at all. So coming to Burlington and experiencing how supportive the community is for the Recreation Department and how valued recreation is here in Burlington has been great.
That's great. That's really, really great. And every time I've had contact with you, you've been very, very affable, very friendly, very willing to help in every way. And I think I mentioned to you, my wife is an ardent fan of the Recreation Department. She may be watching. I think she probably is. Brendan, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having both of us here tonight.
It's a pleasure, really. Tell us about yourself, where you come from, what you did, how you got to where you are, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I've been involved in recreation since I was 14 years old in my hometown in Connecticut. I grew up refereeing in basketball games, keeping score at basketball games. By the time I was 18, I was running the basketball league, and then I worked in the summers as a park director, program director for the park programs. And I wanted to go into broadcast journalism, but someone said to me, Brendan, why don't you look at recreation? It kind of clicked, and I went to school for recreation management, and I always knew I wanted to work municipal recreation. And everything Kelly said about, this town supporting recreation is so true. It's a great community to work for. The people are great. They really support recreation, and we feel it. We hear it every day. 99% of the comments coming into the office are positive.
That's
and we try to fix the ones that aren't. We want to make sure that our reputation out there stays as good as it's always been. So Kelly was a little modest before, and she works very, very hard, and a lot more than people realize to make sure that our department and our program offerings and our staff are prepared and well run. So
yeah. I can honestly tell you that every time I'm out with Kelly, she has been extremely affable, very, very, as I said, I may be repeating it, but it is absolutely true. And I don't know, I've never heard a negative comment about anything that goes on. Oh,
No?
I know, yeah. Well, a little guy across the street that I mentioned, football, and he's saying that he wants to play more. And, you know, I mean, how many games can you play? But anyway, this celebration is the single biggest affair that involves the entire town. I mean, outside of the programs that bring in the kids and whatnot, this is the single biggest one that, do you get involved in the master plan at all?
We have a representative on the master plan steering committee, and I've gone and spoken to the group with Christine Brown, who is our rep, just about, you know, sharing what our 10-year plan is, in our 5-year plan, sharing those on what we'd like to see for the recreation department, both program-wise and facility-wise. So we've spoken, and Christine carries those forward for us, and make sure they're mentioned
So
and
they
kept up.
Hopes of them melding into
Sure.
some of
Sure.
what your goals are.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of what our goals are, you know, we get from the community. You know,
Right.
we get feedback from the residents all the time. So
Yeah.
we listen, and we try to bring those forward and make them realistic.
I can think of a fantastic example of when you guys listen to the feedback of the community, because I heard a rumor the truck day is on again this year, and I know that it was a surprise to a lot in the community when truck day didn't happen last year.
Yep.
And I've seen already, I'm hearing a lot of excitement percolating that it's back. So thank you for bringing that tradition
Yes.
back.
No problem. We're working hard on it, and I know it will be back in September. We have a date that we're aiming for, but we just want to make sure everything fits together.
Well, my little guy will be thrilled. I'll tell you
Right.
that much.
And you know, Al Fay is really the creator of Truck Day and has worked hard on it for as long as it's been in existence and grown it to what it is. And I know, you know, it just didn't work out last year and people were disappointed, but you know, we're going to work with Al this year and make sure that we get that back up and running, because we received a lot of calls. That might have been that 1%.
Is that an open invitation to people that have trucks from other towns and whatnot? It's not exclusively Burlington.
No, it's not exclusively Burlington. Al and I'm drawing a blank on the other gentleman that helps Al have developed a list over the years and have people reach out to them. Hey, how do we get involved in Burlington Truck Day? And it's really a great event. I mean, we've had MBTA buses. I know they've had a helicopter in the past. They've
Wow.
had snow equipment from Hanscom come in, giant snow blowers on the front of trucks.
Seen
and
the National Guard.
National Guard, some giant tree trucks with cranes, and a little bit of everything. So, and then town equipment as well. And you know, our staff, our maintenance staff, takes pride in preparing the vehicles to go down there and to be showcased. And you know, they work hard to prepare the common as well and clean up after it. So it's really a good community event.
Good. Kelly, tell us a little bit about Celebrate Burlington. How long has it been going on?
Brendan's going to speak to the history of it, as he's been here longer and had a longer experience with it. But I can talk to you about the changes that we made when I got here, and we can go from there.
Sure. So I started in 1999 with the Burlington Rec Department, and how I understood it, it started off as a muscular dystrophy penny carnival at some of the park programs, park sites. And it started to grow, and it wound up coming onto the Common, and eventually they changed the name to Burlington Pride Day, and it evolved. You know, it was we still carry on the theme with nonprofits and a good family day. A lot of the games were manned by the staff, and it was a lot of, you know, you're bringing your equipment from your park and you're setting up games of chance, and there were some raffles and things, and then some entertainment and demonstrations, and then it just started to grow a little more and a little more. And Bill Boudreau was instrumental. He was the one that got it started and continued to foster a larger event and involve as many people as possible. And then when he retired, Kelly took it over. Whether she wanted it or not, Kelly took it over and started to grow it a little more and turned it into not only a 5-hour event during the day, but continued on. So right now we go from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock with Carnival on the Common, tons of inflatables and events for people, nonprofits, and then from 5 to 7 there's a car show that we started 3 years ago.
Yep.
In the first 2 years, I think it doubled in numbers from the first year to the second year participation, and that happens across the street at Simons Park. So now
Right.
we've kind of crept into another area, which is great. And then there's a concert from 7 to 9, and then 5 years ago, fireworks.
Yeah.
We started
Yep.
fireworks, and they shot them off from the high school for 3 years, and then the last 4 years, and then last year we went to behind the Human Service Center to shoot them off. Gives a higher platform for the fireworks and gets them up a little higher, and it is the Common, as the sun goes down and the people start to gather, is awesome. And again, I'm going to go back. The maintenance staff does an awesome job preparing the Common, keeping it clean all day, and then
They do.
the next day, other than some trampled grass, you can't tell that there was 2,000 people out there watching fireworks.
I'm always amazed when I go by there a day or two later, and I say, geez, it was such a mess, and
Yeah.
it looks like it's right back to normal.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
So we've seen it evolve from a muscular dystrophy carnival, with games at individual parks, to an all-day event on the Common. And Kelly can speak more to what the activities that go on.
Sure.
What are
So at the Carnival on the Common, we have, as Brendan said, a lot of inflatables. We have a giant wrecking ball that comes in. We have a ginormous water slide that is 30 feet tall. We have some pony rides. We have games of chance with lollipops and all sorts of fun games for all ages at that point. Additionally, we invite local food vendors, local nonprofits to come in and sell food throughout the day. That's the only thing people really need to pay for on the Common. We really want to make sure we're giving back to the community and not charging for tickets of any kind.
Right.
People can just come down
Right.
and celebrate Burlington and have a great day on the Common. The piece that I like a lot is the nonprofit piece, where we bring lots of different nonprofit organizations in town and we give them some exposure and just kind of celebrate all that Burlington really does have to offer, from rec department stuff to the Mama Bear Effect is there typically, the Burlington Minutemen, Burlington Beyond is always there selling food, and then we have some local food companies like King's and Tuscan Kitchen that come and give some food away. Chick-fil-A was there last year.
Yep.
So we like to think that it really does showcase all that Burlington is really about.
Yeah. You get all of the organizations within the town too. I noticed, I've been asked time and again to help at the booth with the library puts up one.
Yep.
I can't think, but there's a bunch of
Sure.
other small
The
organizations.
Garden Club. There's lots of there's
Yeah.
Club 55 will
Historical
have one.
Society.
Yeah,
Historical,
yeah.
yeah,
Some of the
yeah,
churches
yeah.
have
And it's
booths there.
probably the only time when all of these organizations can come together. I mean, to be in the same spot all together, to make the town aware of all of them. I can't think of anything. There isn't anything else that.
Would be as encompassing as
Right.
Burlington Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do other towns have anything like this nearby?
I think a lot of them do.
Yeah, I think Billerica has like do they call it Yankee Doodle Days?
Yep.
And I know up on the North Shore, Newburyport has their day. Marblehead has a big festival around the 4th of July, the Arts Fest. Salem has something. They all have their little weeks, but I think what we pack into a day, the attendance is probably, better than what they see, at any single day event, unless they include fireworks
Yeah.
in their events. But
Can you estimate attendance?
We estimate approximately 8,000 people come throughout
Wow.
the day.
And a good percentage of that is from outside of Burlington, I would bet, too. They're
There's a
not
fair amount of
exclusively-
people from out of town, but I think the majority of people that come
Oh,
are.
yeah, I'm
I'll
sure
tell
that-
you, when I go there, it's like I recognize every face in the crowd there. So I mean, it's definitely a lot of Burlington people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get visitors. We get people that have moved out
No
and
doubt.
know that
Yeah.
this day they're coming back. And you know, we've talked about all the different events and everything, and Kelly touched on it a little, but this is an event that's free
Yeah.
to everybody. Like all of our special events, that's one thing we strive to do is to, you know, have these special events free and open. Some of them we ask people to register for, just so we can have an idea of what we need for supplies and crowd control and setup and things like that. But that's one of the great parts about our special events in the recreation department is these are free events for residents.
Who
I
come up
agree.
with a title?
We we took a lot of opinions from the staff, and I think it was a combination of you and Paul, wasn't it, coming up with Celebrate Burlington at some point? And you know, we kind of looked at the event itself and realized that, you know, that's what the day is about, celebrating everything that Burlington has to offer. So we thought it was very fitting.
It's right on. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the title is right on. And this is how old?
This is
I mean,
so
as Celebrate Burlington.
Probably five years. In 5
I think
years.
so.
5 years.
So the
Yeah.
event will happen on August 6th. But when did it first cross your desk, Kelly? That for this, when do you
For
start
this?
planning it?
December.
No kidding.
Yep. So we start reaching out to event companies in December to, you know, get the best pricing. We go out to bid to make sure we meet with the vendors. We talk to them about our expectations. In January, we start sending out sponsor information so we can start, you know, raising funds to make sure we cover all of that. We're still in the process of receiving those funds now. At this point, we're, you know, searching for some volunteers, starting to coordinate some of our staff and make sure that we're on point there. We still have a little ways to go before we reach our fundraising goal, but I'm confident we'll get there.
It has, I think it's rained once that
Oh
we've
my gosh,
been
Pat, you
there.
just jinxed it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We don't
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that. We don't talk
I
about
shouldn't even,
that.
yeah. No, I was going to say quite the opposite. Actually, it's been good, and I can remember at least 2 that have been very hot.
So hot. Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if someone, and by the way, well, what happens if someone collapses? What
So
from the heat?
historically, we've had the fire department be on site as first aid and first responders for
Couldn't
that
be
purpose.
any closer.
Yep. Additionally, this year we are working with the Burlington Medical Reserve Corps for
Oh.
that purpose as well, just to make sure that, you know, should something happen, that there are first responders
Yeah.
ready.
And
in
actually,
action.
the Burlington Medical Reserve Corps are also there, and they run a booth
Yes.
showcasing what they do
Yep.
and
Yep.
encouraging membership. Just
Yep.
made me think of that now.
Do you get requests from organizations out of town that kind of surprise you?
Very rarely do we get requests from out of town. We've had an Alzheimer's Association come on, I think 3 or 4 years back. We've had the Center for Cancer Research out of Arlington come. So for, you know, nonprofits of that magnitude, we've certainly made exceptions and have them come in because Burlington falls within their catchment area.
Yeah.
So we just try to make sure that that's the case when we have them come in.
The businesses in Burlington, for
Yeah.
example, the banks,
Sure.
usually have a booth. I don't know what they do or whatnot. Some of them probably give something away, but there is a fair number of local vendors. Vendors meaning people who do business in Burlington
Sure.
that do show up.
Yep. So to get a spot on the common, we have certain sponsor levels, and you have to be at a bronze level sponsor in order to have your business showcase on the common. Part of our allowing businesses and nonprofits and other booths on the common is that you can't sell anything from your booth. It's not
Right.
a fundraising event. It's not a craft fair. We have other events like that where that's possible. Celebrate Burlington is not one of them. We want it to be a very low pressure day where families can just come out and have fun,
Yeah.
enjoy the day, and just kind of hang out for the day.
Tell us about the music.
Sure.
Is this the same group? Or I can't remember.
So last year we had the Real School Music All-Star Band. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Real School Music. They're down on Middlesex Turnpike. All of their teachers and instructors get together and they create a band for us for one night only on the Common. So they put together a variety of music from the 60s,
60s, 70s,
yeah.
80s, through today.
Yeah. And so they'll put that together. They'll put a set together for us, and they will come. The Real School of Music has generously donated that for the last couple of years, so we haven't had to pay for the entertainment there. And they're very talented musicians, so we're very fortunate to have them in the community.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
They are good, and they do keep. You can see a lot of the young kids in particular dancing and having one heck of a time.
Well, that's what they're there for. They're there
No, I know.
that's a
Yeah.
service that they teach the kids music too. Because I know when my son was in a daycare program, they used to have someone come into the program once a week and play songs with the kids back when Rocco was just 2 or 3. And you know, the idea is to stimulate their interest. And
Yeah.
obviously, that's the Burlington Day or Celebrate Burlington is a great opportunity for them to showcase what they do and show their talent to the community.
Yeah.
A guitar for Rocco pretty soon.
Maybe drums.
Go
Who knows?
drums, yeah, go drums.
Or a set of drums, yeah.
Get some bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Where do you see this program going? I mean, if it's is it appropriate to say it's growing in terms of the number of people who are involved? Not only the vendors, but I'm talking about the guests who come in. Is that pretty stable, or can you tell? Do you have a way of estimating?
I think people turn out for it no matter what. Maybe weather could play. You know, if it's a really hot day, we might not see as many.
Yeah.
Maybe during the day, but if it cools off a little at night, we might see more for the concert and for the car show, and the fireworks. But in my time here, I've definitely seen crowds grow, and I'm sure Kelly has in the 7-8 years that she's been running it, has seen the crowds grow as well.
That's the reason for my question. Where do we go from here if it continues to grow? How big can it get? I mean, I would imagine, you know, word gets out. I'm talking of outside of Burlington. Word gets out. Gee, they have a real terrific day in Burlington. Let's take it in. And pretty soon you're drawing an extra 1,000 from around and an extra 2,000. I don't know. Is the sky the limit? And
Well, there's still green space left on the common to put some activities.
Barely.
Yeah.
But we are running into a power problem. And one of the articles at town meeting was for design of new electrical at the town common. It's just the design.
I voted for it.
Thank you. It's just the design. We went in with it, with the selectmen on it. It's something that needs to be done. It's the original electricity that was put in and, you know, put together over years, different lines. There's no map of where it is. So, you know, we're maxing out. We're not able to put as many Christmas lights up as they have in the past, although it looks really good because we have, you know, there's new technology, LED lights. So, you know, that part, you know, maybe people don't notice it because the lights are nice and bright, and they've done a great job strategically stringing the trees. But, you know, with the tree lighting, with Celebrate Burlington.
Is that under rec too?
I was going to
Is
ask
that
you.
your
We
responsibility, the
maintain
lights?
the common. Yeah, yes, we
Yep.
maintain the common. We do the
Oh,
lights,
I never thought of
but
that.
the selectmen
Wow.
oversee the common.
Okay.
They have authority to place events or not place events on the common.
Oh. Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
And
So
you know
that's
what?
far away from kids playing baseball.
Right.
You know, 2 miles away during the summer. That's quite a bit.
Well, and the guys start, the maintenance guys start with the lights in October. You know, as long as the ground's firm and they can start stringing lights, because it's not a quick 1 week. You know, perfect weather, ground's firm, you can get the truck out there. It takes some time, and you know, they do a great job with it. They're up
They
there
do.
early on the
Yeah.
common, you know, until the end of their shifts. Try to rotate through people, so there's a different group working on it.
I'll tell you another great thing that you do on Celebrate Burlington. That is that tent that you put up for people to go and sit, especially older people who want to buy something. They go and they have a place where they can take their beverage and sit and out of the sun, especially if it happens to be a hot day. I think that's right. That must seat about 60, 70, 80 people. It's good size.
We get 6 pretty decent sized picnic tables in it, and then people can squeeze into those, or they can stand around out of the sun as well.
Out of the
in
sun.
the shade, yeah.
Yeah. Terrific job. I personally am very impressed, and I think that my guess is that most of the people that are involved in it, I think are very, very happy with it. And so they should look forward to a full program this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Starting at, what are the hours again?
11 a.m. to 4 is our carnival on the Common, and then the car show is 5 to 7, and then our concert is 7 to 9, and then the fireworks will go off at 9.
And the vendors are there until 4?
Yes, food vendors are allowed to stay through the fireworks if they would like to, just so that because we have so many people on the Common gathering for the concert, we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to get some food and hang out.
Yeah. Parking a problem?
It can be. We ask that they don't park in the post office. That's not a local parking lot to park
Right,
in.
right.
And the Postal Service, I think, has put someone on the last couple of years if they had a person out in the parking lot. So we encourage people to park at Simon's Park, at the Human Service Building, behind Town Hall, the Town Hall Annex, legally on a street somewhere, not along Center Street. We did run into that. We do ask people not to park in a no parking zone because it just crowds things up. But there's a lot of room up at Simon's and upper and lower lots. So I think people find their way.
How about facilities, restrooms? They're open up at Simon's, right?
They are open at Simon's, but we use the Town Hall Annex. So we have a couple facilities there. And last year we bring on porta potties for that event last year. For this year, then we'll bring on some porta potties. Probably keep them over across the street there, so we put everything together and kind of keep it off the Common, out of the way.
It gets involved, doesn't it?
It does.
There's a lot of
little
details to think
Imagine.
about. Yeah. How big a staff do you have that gets involved in just that alone?
For that day,
Yeah.
we have 85 people that we hire in the summer, and they're basically required to work at some point during that day. And then we have maintenance people that are on for overtime that have to come in, and there's a couple shifts there. We have volunteers that volunteer for our department. Yeah. So I'd say there's probably 100.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
And Kelly, I'm just going to go back. Kelly gave the hours before, but it starts at 11. The staff gets there 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then some earlier. Kelly's on the Common at 6 a.m. Wow. So she doesn't leave until there's stragglers left that are just enjoying that last bit of summer air or whatever you want to call it. But Kelly's there all day. It's a long day. So her prep starts in December, and it really doesn't end until late August, and then she gets a 2-month reprieve maybe, and does follow-up thank yous and everything. There's a lot that goes into it. So
You want to show this too?
sure.
I don't know if you can. Saturday, August 6th. I'm not allowed to mention rain date, right?
Yes.
You can mention the rain date, just no rain.
The rain date is the 7th, but we're not going to have any rain this year.
There we go.
We've been assured. It's a Carnival on the Common, car show at Simon's Park from 5 to 7, and concert on the Common from 7 to 9, and fireworks start at 9 in the evening. So it's from actually 11 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. That's one full day. Wow. That's
Definitely something to look forward to, but fortunately,
mhm.
fortunately, if you want to go up to the Common and have a good time, you don't have to wait until August 6th
right.
because the rec department has a lot of other activities coming up over the course of the summer. And I may be incorrect, but I believe the next activity that's going to happen at the Common starts on Thursday with the farmers market.
Correct. We held our first ever farmers market last year, and we held it on the front lawn of the Human Service Building. Great location. Those trees provided awesome shade in the heat of the summer. We had some issues with accessibility onto the front lawn, and really exposure. Accessibility is the big issue that we're looking for a change this year to make sure everybody could attend the market. So we moved it to the town common. So they have nice new path from in front of town hall that goes right down to the lower bowl. I like to call it lower bowl, lower area around the gazebo. So we can get people down there. We can really maximize the amount of vendors we can bring in, which will be nice because we'll see maybe a couple meat vendors, a couple different farms, and it helps with prices. They're going to want to be competitive with each other, so ultimately it helps the resident. So that'll be happening, and that starts this Thursday the 16th, and it goes until October 13th, and it's from 2:30 to 6:30 every Thursday on the Common. We don't get rain on Thursday, so that's great. People can come
Not
out.
allowed.
No, it's not. It's not allowed.
It's true.
How do you go from from recreation to farmers market?
How
What
do-
part of recreation is that?
they wear
I mean,
many
I
hats.
guess what I'm asking
To
is
wear
how
many
did
hats.
how did it come about that you got involved in the
Kel-
farmers market, which I think is terrific. I think it really is terrific. But
Kelly started talking about it 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
And when I came on board, it was something that the community I was in before had a very active farmers market. It had a volunteer market manager, so it wasn't anything that the town did. But it was like the social gathering on Saturdays. Hey,
Oh,
did you hear
okay.
what booth was at the farmers market this week?
Yeah.
It was a very active, vibrant community event, weekly event. And when Kelly started talking about it, it fits with recreation. It's a community event.
Yeah.
We do a lot of community, event planning and community events. So it just
bringing
fits.
people together. Yeah. No, that's terrific. It really. I would never have imagined. I mean, I knew about it recently. I mean, I knew that you were running it, but before that, I would have thought about baseball, football. That sort of thing.
I have to admit that I did not make it to the farmers market last year, but I'm very excited to try and make it this year. And I'm actually disappointed that this Thursday I won't be able to be around by between the hours of 2:30 and 6:30. But the following Thursday, I think I'm going to make my Thursday night meal around the farmers
the
market,
market.
especially now that I hear they have meat vendors as well.
Sure.
And I believe I saw a clip on the B News Blast
Yep.
that they send out of you this morning. I believe I received it, or maybe yesterday.
Yep.
And there's even a seafood vendor as well, correct?
There is, yes, a local person too, Boston Sword and Tuna. There's farm. I'm going to let Kelly kind of give the rundown.
Sure.
She knows the list. Just another one of those things that Kelly's hands are all over, and
So we have a lot of produce vendors. We have Springbrook Farm is going to come. They'll do some produce, fresh eggs, some meats, some jams and jellies.
Where are they located? Sorry to cut you off. Just
You would ask me that, right?
they're Massachusetts based.
Yes, yep. I believe in Westford. I could be lying.
Okay.
there's one in West. Yeah.
I believe it's Westford though.
So it's not coming all the way from California or Venezuela.
No, everything is local.
Fantastic.
That we have the Boston Sword and Tuna from the Scola family. We have I'm going to say a knife sharpener because we just booked him today, so that's the one that's in the top of my mind.
Yeah.
The knife sharpener is going to come. We have a bread vendor, Purple Carrot Bread Company out of Lowell. So they'll be bringing some breads. We're still looking for a cheese vendor. That's our one
love cheese.
deficit
I have a weakness
right
for
now,
cheese.
right? Who doesn't? We have Dino's Pasta from, I believe they're from Somerville.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do some fresh
That's
pasta.
right up your alley. My
and-
alley too, Mike. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And then we have artisan groups that come in and do some different craft items. We have a woman who makes recycled handbags. We have a gentleman who is going to make some chainmail bracelets and pins, all from recycled materials. We try to make sure that any artisan vendor that comes in falls under that category. Additionally, we have Neshoba Learning Group, which will come and they'll do some dog treats. So we want to make sure that we're servicing the
That's
entire family.
Big.
Yes. Yep.
You get a
So we're
lot. You've
anticipating.
already mentioned at least 20 vendors.
Yeah.
At least.
Yep. We have Lonnie Orchards, who was here last year. They were great to us last year.
Very
Trying to make sure we mention them as well. They do a lot of produce. Harvest time, they'll bring in some cider, and they have some fresh apples and that type of thing in the fall.
Sounds great.
I was just thinking we had one other.
Sweets. What about sweets?
Sweets. Roman's Bakery is going to be there. They're going to do some pies.
Okay.
We
Wow.
don't have a cookie vendor currently. We're kind of working on that one. Del Sur is going to be there, so there'll be some people throughout the market that come with prepared food. So Del Sur will be there selling their empanadas, and some other food vendors will be there. We're working with Not Your Average Joe's and some other local food establishments to come in and do
Holy
some food
mackerel.
demonstrations. We have For the Sprouts tent for the kids, so they can come and make a craft and kind of hang out and do some stuff while parents go and shop and look around. We're also working on entertainment for each week.
Wow.
We work with the Real School of Music and some other local banjo players and other types of music to come in. We have a nonprofit booth, so nonprofits can petition us to get one free booth so they can promote their nonprofit organization. So we're kind of coordinating that currently as well. So
That's
we're trying to finalize
amazing.
the schedule. Yeah,
Wow. You could spend the day there.
you could
Easily.
spend the full 4 hours there for sure.
Four
Yep.
hours. We'd never be able to get to all the booths in,
Yep, yep.
in the 4 hours. Wow.
And we do look for volunteers too.
Yep.
The For the Sprouts table doesn't run itself, and that's a fun table. There's always some kind of craft or activity for the kids, like Kelly mentioned. But we do look for volunteers. We have a market manager who will be there each week to make sure the vendors follow the Board of Health rules that need to, the ones that fall under those, and get all the vendors checked in, get their stuff unloaded, and get their cars off the common. So logistics will change this year, and we have a new market manager. So for her, it will be her creating this, the process. But she does, will have work to do to get everyone set.
What
and the
exact-
electricity was one of the other reasons moving it, because there are requirements to keep things warm
yeah.
or cool.
Yeah.
So we have some electricity on the
What
common.
exactly are the volunteers? What do they do? Just about anything?
They can help us manage the market manager's tent, answer questions, work with vendors, maybe help them set up, do the For the Sprouts table, check in musician if we have a live musician, make sure they're in the right spot, get them set up, and help them clean up. We do put out 8 signs, I think, throughout town. Some of the taller sandwich boards just for the day. So they need to go out before the market, usually first thing in the morning, and then we pull them in after the market, so they're only out for a day or part of a day, and so that stuff. Cleanup is a lot quicker than the setup, but we do have a lot to clean up as well.
You've talked about 2 big events. I mean, they're big. They're not,
But wait, there's more.
yeah.
There is
no,
more.
wait, no,
There's
that's
more.
that's my question,
More.
or my next comment, if you will, and that is, what else do you do?
What don't we do?
Yeah.
I mean,
While we're talking about community events, you want to talk about concerts and movies
Sure,
and
yeah.
when those start?
So, just so we're clear, the farmers market's on Thursdays. On Mondays, we will start children's concerts. I believe it's June 28th. I'm not positive.
27th.
27th is a Monday, yep. June 27th, I believe they'll start on the Common. So Monday nights at 6:30 are children's concerts. Tuesdays, starting June 21st, is family concerts, so different types of music. And then Wednesday nights, we do movies on the Common starting the 29th. So we like to do as much programming out on the Common as we can. It's a great community space, and it's wide open. It gives a lot of room for. If you go down on a Tuesday night, you'll see families playing frisbee or flying kites sometimes, or kicking a soccer ball around while they listen to some music. They've grabbed a pizza from across the street and they'll bring it over and have dinner, have a picnic dinner. It's great. It's great community events like that make the summer worth it.
And in the meantime,
In our
all
spare
of
time.
the other regular things are going on.
Sure.
Whether it's tennis or baseball or.
4 times a year I get a book in the mail that's
Yeah, I've
you
seen
know
it.
the
I've
size
seen
of the
it.
stack that you have right in front of us
Yeah.
here, and I mean it's a good sized book with something for everybody in it,
Yeah.
regardless of
Sure.
age or interest.
Or ability.
Done a good job too, modernizing that brochure and trying to get as much information on everything we do from all of our programs, special events, but also refund policies, department policies, everything in there. And we don't always get everything in there, but we try, and we do make mistakes. And I have to point it out. We had a couple people come in recently. Our brochure this year, we had a little bit of a mistake. We put summer 2015 instead of 16. So
If I could have that summer back.
I know, right? Well, that's what we thought. We thought, last summer was pretty good. We thought people would want to relive it, so we'll do it twice. No, but that is out there. The brochure looks like a magazine. People want to keep it around on their coffee tables or on their, in their kitchen, or wherever they keep their mail or magazines. Keep it around a little longer, thumb through it, and we encourage people to go through it. You might find something a second time through that you didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
And really take advantage of that. Can I just jump back to the farmers market?
Absolutely.
quickly? Since we are moving to the town common, people question parking. Town hall office is open until 4:30 on Thursdays. We are encouraging people to park at Simon's Park, behind the Human Service Building or at the Human Service Building, and then kind of let the people, if you're coming after 4:30, town hall the spots will be open more there. But we do want to encourage to park in those other spots first, and it's a nice quick walk from both of those down to the common. So we do want to encourage that and encourage people to do that. Sorry.
Please, no, that
Where-
was great.
Where do we go from here? How about what happens? Now this is all summer stuff.
Correct.
Okay, good stuff all through the summer. What happens to the rec department in, say, after Labor Day?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go into the programs that the kids are involved in. And of course, this is all going on. For example, I know that tennis goes on during the summer.
Sure.
And what else have I seen? Soccer.
Yep.
Soccer, they come from everywhere.
They
There
run
are
camps.
teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do camps.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's just
You're
a
fine.
technicality.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we do programs, and we have Club Simons, which is the all-time favorite. Club Simons. We lost our director this year. She was with us for 17
Yep.
years. She's teaching in Reading, has her own classroom, and I think just the work, going through a full year of your own classroom. So we've moved to a new director this year. We have 4 Park Place locations, so those are free. Park Place, your traditional drop-in Park Place program where we provide a staff and activities. We have Summer Discovery, which is a preschool program at the Recreation Department. We have gymnastics here at the high school. We have mini sports program, which is for preschoolers in up to 2nd grade, I believe. First grade. That happens at Francis Wyman. We have middle school parks. We have outdoor adventures.
What's middle school?
Middle school parks is like a Park Place program for kids in middle school.
Okay.
It's a trip-based program. They go all over the place. They do have a day, a half day in town, sometimes a full day. we bring, when they're here, we bring mobile food trucks, in so they can buy lunch, something
Buy lunch,
special. But then we have, where was I going?
Outdoor adventures.
Oh, Outdoor Adventures, which was formerly called Wilderness. Outdoor Adventures, they go camping, rock climbing, mountain biking. So it's, a little bit more.
Zip lining, whitewater rafting. Let's mention the.
Yeah,
So
the big
let's
ones.
go with the
Yeah,
fun ones.
Zip lining,
Yeah.
I forgot that, and whitewater rafting.
What's the age limit? Because I want in on that.
We could do an
We
adult adventure.
And you would
We-
probably get a fairly
Yeah.
decent response to that.
I've seen some things where off-season people are renting out camps that are, community camps in the summer
Yeah.
or stay-away camps. They're renting them out for adults for weekend events, and they're selling out. Let's face it, we all want to go back to when we were, free and clear in the summer. We didn't have the responsibility. of
Oh,
house
do
season
I
and all
ever.
that.
Well, getting back to that, I know the park drop-in program that you have in Burlington. I grew up in Arlington, and back in the 80s we had that,
Yep.
and that was phased out. I think it's great that you guys still do it here because as parents are busy nowadays. Most two-parent families or single-parent families, the parents hate having to leave the kid at home for
Yep.
the day, but
Right.
it gives them a place to go and congregate and stay out of trouble.
Right,
Really.
and that's one program that there is no fee for in the summer, that is funded through the general fund. So, and we'd like to continue that because we think it's a good service.
I think it's a great service. How
it-
many communities do you think still do that at this point in this immediate area? Are there any communities that still do that?
Yeah, I think so. Not a lot, but
For
I
free?
think, yeah, maybe not for free, but that Park Place model is still there. Maybe minimal cost. Some towns, I know some on the North Shore still do it. It's one of those, again, this community supports recreation, and we, from the recreation side of it, we think that's a very worthwhile service to provide.
I agree. As you said, the community sports recreation is part of the fabric of this community, I believe.
You talk about gymnastics. There's a class, or what age?
It's, I'm going to let Kelly.
Grades 1 through 12, boys and girls. They go downstairs and they go through a full gymnastics set routine.
Where? At the high school?
At the high school,
At the high
in the
school.
gymnastics gym. Yep. Jordan Marino, who's a gymnastics coach here up at the high school, runs our program for us. So,
Oh.
yep, he runs through tumbling to the high bars, the whole nine, anything that you would normally see at a gymnastics meet, and they get an opportunity to learn and grow there.
How do you know which program to pay attention to when you go in the morning? I mean, you must,
All of
especially
them.
especially in this,
Whichever one calls first.
especially no, but I can just think of one from a person or calling, or someone having a problem from one or the other, or requesting information. You must.
Well, I mean, one of the important aspects that we have in our department is the summer program administrator position. So they kind of oversee all of our programs. So they're checking in with all of our directors on a very regular basis, and then the assistant program coordinator and myself go out and support them additionally on top of that, because it is a lot of different
Yeah.
balls in the air all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in order for us to make sure that we're successfully supporting all of our programs, that is a key position we have in our department in the summer.
How much have these all grown in the past? What? Two. I mean, thinking back 4 or 5 years,
Sure.
it was not like it is today. I'm sure.
No.
A lot of it has grown recently. You've added.
I mean, I
programs.
think depending on the programming, the costs with the recession, that kind of hit a little bit. Like our parks numbers have grown.
Yeah.
Our Simon's numbers have kind of decreased a little bit there, but we're starting to come back full circle and see an increase across the board for all of our programs this year, which is exciting.
I feel like I noticed that a lot of those trips seem to be growing. Every year there seems to be more and more trips. I'm assuming, I'm just guessing,
Sure.
I hope I'm not wrong. What Red Sox road game are you guys doing this year? Because I feel like there's always a Red Sox road
There
game.
usually is, but we haven't done it. We're not going to do one this year.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's we'll go to New York.
Okay.
So that
You do a
would
New
be,
York
yeah,
City trip.
Yeah, we did We did one in May, and we're doing another one in July.
Nice.
Red Sox Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a day trip.
Yeah.
But
That counts.
Yeah, it does count actually. Now that it's on the road, right? I was thinking Baltimore, Toronto. We usually go there. We haven't had a lot of interest in that segment for the
No
Red Sox
kidding.
over the past
These
couple
are listed
years.
Really?
in your
Yeah.
catalog?
Yes.
Yep.
That surprises me.
Yeah, it surprised us as well. So we kind of felt like maybe if we took a step back and maybe offered it every other year, the
Yeah.
interest might grow. Sometimes if you put those on like a 2 or 3 year cycle,
Yeah.
you'll start to get people who are like, oh, I remember doing that. Let's try
I'll
it
tell
again.
you, going to a game at Camden Yards that's a great
Amazed.
place
I
to
didn't
watch
even
a
know
game.
you did
Yeah.
that. God.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really
Oh,
They do
yeah.
trips to Niagara Falls. They do
Yeah.
trips. I've seen trips to Martha's Vineyard, maybe, or Nantucket.
Yep,
Yeah.
both. Cabbage Island in Maine, Gloucester, Penn Dutch will
But
do.
I thought some of
Niagara
this was the COA that does this, no?
So they do
have
their
their
own
own?
segment
And
of trips.
Yep.
We have our own segment of trips as well. Ours are
And yours are all
similar.
listed in the
Ours are
catalog.
all in the catalog. If you want more information on any of them, it literally just lists our trips and where we're going and the price. If you want more information, you can go online
You've
on
done
our
foreign
website.
excursions too, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yep. We do. We've done Ireland, Italy, Well,
You're
Hawaii's not
kidding
foreign,
me.
but it's far
Yeah.
away, so that counts, right?
Alaska.
Italy by
Oh, that's
That's
boat?
not foreign.
Italy by boat. We did yeah. So there was a land and boat portion to that trip. Yep. Different segments of Italy.
It's a robust
We've tried to
program.
do. We've tried to do Iceland and Greece and all sorts of different locations. We work with Collette Tours to offer a variety of things there, but
That's amazing.
yeah.
You're going to have to open that summer 2015
Seriously.
catalog a second time.
And the value is always, there's always a lot of value to those trips, however you guys buy, when you buy in bulk or,
Yep.
because I know of some of those trips, I had done those trips myself on my own previously, and I thought, oh, I got ripped
Yeah.
off, I paid a lot more than what they're charging, so.
Yeah.
No, you guys do
We
a
try.
fantastic job
try to
of
keep
keeping
those
the
numbers
costs
low.
accessible to people in the community.
This is a program.
It is.
It's not a program, it's
So
a
one of the
program.
One of the things that we're super excited about is our therapeutic recreation program piece of the department, which is very new for us. We, at town meeting, it was approved to have our certified therapeutic recreation specialists become a full-time position. So this person will go ahead and offer programming for people with disabilities. We'll offer specialized programming for those people specifically, so they're on a level playing field with their peers. But then we'll also include some inclusive programming for people with disabilities as well. So we're excited to see that grow, because I think the sky's the limit there. We're kind of starting at the bottom there. We have limited programming for adults. In the fall, you'll start to see additional programming for youth, because we weren't in that segment before. So we have decided to make a strong focus there. We've met with a lot of parent groups and talked to a lot of different people about what programs their child would be interested in participating with. So we're trying to, assess the needs in the community and go ahead and, offer programming for that population that we didn't offer before.
That's really
So-
ahead of the curve, I like
yeah,
that.
Yep.
In the recreation department has always had an active, we used to call it special needs support. So we provide support for participants in the summer that needed some assistance in a program. We had an active Special Olympics softball program and basketball, and we tried to take that, we brought it in a little more in-house with and we call it Burlington Pride Athletics. So they have their softball season, which they're in right now and culminates at the end of July, the last weekend in July, with a big tournament up behind the Human Service Building. Teams from all over come, Metro West, North Shore, all over. And with that, it's evolved. The basketball program used to be a long time with softball from March until July, and then basketball would pick up in November. We're looking to add this fall a soccer component and possibly deck hockey. Then in the winter, they have the basketball, but then this past spring we added track. So we're offering those opportunities for people with a disability, and we're seeing more people get involved and the age group expand. So it is somewhere where Burlington Recreation Department, in the time I've been here, has always prided itself on trying to be ahead of the curve and ahead of trends. And this is one, we've had a good success rate in it over the years, but it really needs to grow. It needs to take that next step, and this is something that's going to do it, having this CTRS.
How many are you in the full-timers that are?
There are director, and then on the program side, there's 2 full-timers.
3 with the CTRS.
3 with the CTRS, thank you, and a part-time person. We haven't even touched on our fitness programs, which is just, you name it, we offer it.
So you got
Crazy
yoga,
stuff.
karate,
Yep.
couple
And-
of different types of yoga.
Right, and then a park maintenance staff. We have a park superintendent who oversees the maintenance aspect, and then 7 staff members on that side who do a great job maintaining the parks and trying to stay ahead of 280 acres of property, all town facilities, all outdoor facilities, the maintenance of those except for the cemeteries.
I can certainly attest to your people who go down and take care of the park. They really do a terrific job. They're at it pretty much every day during the summer. They go down and they cut the grass, or whether they're cleaning or whatever they're doing. They're involved all just about every single day.
Can I just bounce back? You
Sure.
asked what we do
Go
in the
ahead.
fall. We get into
Oh.
all kinds of programs after school, a lot of preschool stuff during the day for kids and families, a lot of stuff on the weekends for those working parents. They can come in and participate. We have some gymnastics programs and things, some preschool, school-age sports. But I just want to hit on one big
Go
thing
ahead,
we
go
have
ahead.
coming.
We're
We have
close.
We've about a minute and a
We've
half.
only got
Yep.
a minute,
We
and I
talked
want you
about-
to make a plug for the Celebrate Burlington.
Okay, we've talked about dogs before.
Yep.
We do have a dog park coming to Burlington. We're working on securing a grant. We're hoping that it'll be no cost to the taxpayer, that this grant will fund. A site has been picked. We had a public meeting last March, and they picked, March of 2015, they picked a site at Rahanis Park. It'll be an enclosed dog park where they can run off leash and really enjoy each other's company. And if anyone's interested in getting involved, there is a Burlington Dog Park Committee. We meet usually on Wednesday nights, once or twice a month. So that's coming up. And you'll
That's
see a table
terrific.
at Celebrate Burlington, which is
Yes.
Saturday, August 6th. Celebrate Burlington begins at 11 a.m., 11 to 4 with Carnival, 5 to 7 with a car show at Simon's Park across the street, concert on the Common from 7 to 9, and then followed up by fireworks.
Thank you, both of you. That was
course.
terrific, and all I can
Not
say
just for the
is
show.
that-
I want to
Yeah.
thank them for all that they do for
No,
the community.
I mean,
This is
it's-
really
I
a great
had- I had
department.
Really terrific.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of you out there. I hope you were able to tune in. Join us again in 2 weeks. I will tell you then. And we've got 3 seconds left. Good night, and thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
very
of
much.
course.
Thank you.
I had no idea that you